Before the Tesla automobiles came to be, there was a man named Nikola Tesla, a man who inspired Musk and his company. Tesla's genius shaped the world we know today, pioneering the alternating current, the electrical system which powers our homes around the globe. His impact can be seen everywhere, from remote controls and radios to wireless communication. If we are true to ourselves, Tesla is the father of technology, and there is no surprise that Elon Musk sees this genius as a role model. Nikola Tesla's early life. Tesla was born on July 10, 1856, in modern-day Croatia. His mother came from an innovative family and had an amazing memory, memorizing the complete Serbian epic poetry, so she trained her son with exercises and memorization. Tesla was later shown to have an eidetic memory. Later in life, he spoke 8 other languages, which he attributed to his mother's efforts in his youth. Tesla was 5 years old when his elder brother died in a horseback riding accident, a picture that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Following this, Tesla began to see flashes of light and pictures, making it difficult to distinguish reality from his imagination. He stated that these flashes of light would bring him innovations, designing their whole layout and addressing their errors in his thoughts without ever putting pen to paper. He detailed this method in a 1919 interview, saying, "My method is different. I do not rush into actual work. When I get an idea, I start at once building it up in my imagination. I change the construction, make improvements, and operate the device entirely in my mind. It is absolutely immaterial to me whether I run my turbine in thought or test it in my shop. I even note if it is out of balance. Invariably my device works as I conceived that it should, and the experiment comes out exactly as I planned it. In 20 years, there has not been a single exception." Tesla excelled in school but dropped out of university due mainly to a gambling addiction and other personal troubles. Inspired by electrical demonstrations by his physics professor, Tesla went to work for the Continental Edison Company in Paris in 1882, installing indoor lighting around the city. The management of the company soon realized that Tesla's abilities were being misused on such work and assigned him to build and develop dynamos and motors. He was so inventive that the corporation soon had him going over Europe, repairing faults at other Edison installations. At the age of 28, Tesla's manager was moving to America and offered Tesla a job at Edison Machine Works in New York City, which he quickly accepted. Thereafter, Tesla moved to America, where he would spend most of his life, before becoming a naturalized citizen in 1891, 7 years later. He soon met co-owner Thomas Edison, and the two initially got along well, with Tesla characterizing Edison as an inspirational figure. The pair's mutual appreciation would not last long, as a lifelong rivalry would soon emerge. The major cause of contention between the two was a dispute over the sort of current each man favored. The Edison Company owned the patents for direct current, DC, a system in which electric charge travels in only one direction. Tesla, on the other hand, was a proponent of alternating current, or AC, a system in which the electric charge changes direction regularly. These directional variations allow AC to sustain power over longer distances. Transformers may also be used to vary the magnitude of alternating current voltage, enabling a current to travel at a high voltage and then be decreased to a lower voltage for safe usage in houses. Tesla attempted to explain the advantages of alternating current to Edison, but Edison refused to listen since it would jeopardize the sales of direct current, for which he held all patents. Then Edison promised Tesla a $50,000 bonus if he redesigned 24 of his outmoded machines, a proposition that Tesla accepted. However, when the task was done, Edison refused to pay and admitted that it had been a practical joke, adding, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor." This incident caused Tesla to resign after 6 months at the company to set up his own company. He wanted to transform the world and was confident that he could. He spent the following year establishing his own firm to develop his alternating current ideas. However, his investors were uninterested and opted to buy the firm, including all of his patents. To survive, he was forced to dig trenches on the street. Tesla's fortunes would soon change, however, when his ideas on an alternating current motor caught the attention of a new investor, who helped establish the Tesla Electric Company in 1887. He then created a motor that was considerably cheaper and easy to maintain than direct current motors. The next year, he demonstrated his motor to the American Institute of Electrical Engineers, which drew the attention of a businessman called George Westinghouse. Westinghouse was a key participant in the electric industry, and he required Tesla's motor to complete his alternating current system, which would compete with Thomas Edison's system. Westinghouse purchased the motor and employed Tesla as a consultant for $55,000 per month, plus royalties for each horsepower produced by his motors. Things were looking up for Tesla. The War of Currents. With the increasing success of Tesla, Thomas Edison began to go to absurd lengths to undermine Tesla's AC technology. He began paying students 25 cents to bring their family pets to a public platform, where he would electrocute the animals in an attempt to demonstrate to the public that Tesla's AC system was not safe over time. The scale of electrocutions rose, and a horse was ultimately executed in public. Edison continued to execute animals for many years even after the Currents War had ended, with the Edison Film Company creating a short film titled Electrocuting an Elephant in 1903. Topsy, a former circus elephant, was electrocuted and murdered when 6,600 volts were blasted into her body. Despite Edison's bad representation of the AC, Tesla and Westinghouse continued to develop their alternating current technology. The World Columbian Exposition in Chicago in 1893 provided a chance to demonstrate that alternating current was both safe and practical for large-scale use. Edison had made an offer to light the fair, but Westinghouse underbid him, obtaining the contract and the opportunity to outshine Edison. While it was difficult to deliver lights at the low cost proposed, Westinghouse and Tesla succeeded, demonstrating to the world the power of the alternating current. Westinghouse Electric was chosen over Edison Company General Electric to build a hydroelectric facility at Niagara Falls, thereby continuing the company's success. While Westinghouse was victorious in the War of Currents, his firm was on the edge of bankruptcy, owing $10 million. He appealed to Tesla for assistance, requesting that he temporarily cut his royalties in order to keep his firm solvent. Compelled by sympathy for his friend, Tesla tore up his contract, completely removing his income. Tesla's inventions. Tesla's inventions were numerous, including about 300 patents during his lifetime. He invented neon lighting, a highly efficient bladeless turbine for autos, and was a pioneer in X-ray technology, being among the first to warn of its hazards to people. His famed Tesla coil, a device capable of creating massive volumes of high-voltage electricity, was one of his most famous inventions. Another highlight of his inventions was the remote-controlled boat, which was demonstrated at Madison Square Garden in 1898. The audience originally assumed he was using magic or telepathy to move the boat since it was such an incredible advancement in wireless technology and so far ahead of its time. While Tesla was a brilliant creator, he struggled to market his inventions, preferring to focus on the next idea rather than figuring out how to sell what he had already created. Many of his ideas went unrecorded, and those that were recorded often went unprotected by a legitimate patent. Tesla's most daring concept emerged at the turn of the 20th century. He sought to build a global wireless system capable of disseminating energy to any location on the planet. Tesla got funds for this project in 1901 and acquired land on Long Island shortly after in New York, where he would build his machine the next year, a magnificent wooden structure 187 feet tall with a metal dome, 68 feet in diameter. Tesla named the facility Wardenclyffe Tower, and he felt it would significantly enhance wireless technology by using what he called communication devices that would not be seen for another century. Despite his amazing ideas, Tesla soon suffered many setbacks. There wasn't much attention on the tower and his investors began to back out, leaving Tesla, who was now in his 50s, in financial ruin. The next decade saw Tesla develop a nervous breakdown and his debt reached so high that he lost Wardenclyffe to foreclosure. Tesla began residing in a variety of hotels and began caring for pigeons, feeding and caring for them every day. He ended up in the New Yorker Hotel in his late 70s, where he would spend the rest of his life. This was mostly due to Westinghouse Electric, with the manufacturing firm recognizing his desperate circumstances and choosing to pay his rent as a way of thanking him for saving them all those years ago. Tesla lived until the age of 86, dying in his hotel room on January 7, 1943. Tesla's influence on Elon Musk. Nikola Tesla was a man ahead of his time, delivering free energy to the world. According to some sources, Nikola Tesla invented the batteryless electric automobile in 1931. According to legend, he modified a Pierce Arrow, in which an AC electric motor replaced the gas-powered combustion engine. The report, which lacks actual proof, gained credibility as a result of the inventor's work with wireless electrical transmission at Wardenclyffe. Regardless of the validity of the modification, Tesla Motors CEO Elon Musk chose to name his electric automobile company Tesla Incorporated after Serbian-American inventor Nikola Tesla. Over the years, Musk has shown great admiration for Nikola Tesla and his many inventions. Elon Musk explained in an interview that he did name the car company Tesla after the inventor because it uses AC induction motors, which is an architecture Tesla developed. According to Musk, Tesla deserves a little more play than he gets in current society. What this means is that Musk understands that technology, as we know it, may not have existed if we didn't have a man who saw beyond what others could see, a man who knew tomorrow. In 1926, the same year the first transatlantic telephone call was made, from London to New York, Tesla predicted a future of wireless communication with devices uncannily similar to those we use today. Tesla expected the pending arrival of a global digital network that sounds a lot like the internet. Without many of Tesla's inventions, so much of our daily equipment will not have existed. Elon Musk knew all these and realized that Nikola Tesla isn't given as much credit as he should be given in the modern world. Nevertheless, Musk claims that if he is to balance it, he would favor Edison ahead of Tesla, and this may owe to the fact that Tesla wasn't able to market his inventions as others would have done. Yes, Musk recognizes Tesla's passion to better the world. We can say that Musk even takes after Tesla in this regard, as Musk keeps investing a lot of his money to actualize depopulating Earth even as humans colonize Mars. Musk, however, still believes that because Edison brought his stuff to market and made those inventions accessible to the world and the shunned Serbian-Croatian inventor Tesla didn't really do that, Edison would have his vote. We cannot argue with the man's choices, but what is glaring is that Musk sees Tesla as a fundamental part of the automobile company Tesla and wants the world to appreciate this genius more. Which part of this story fascinates you? For more information like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification button.